we want to be pro-Scientology and anti-Scientology material and make up our own mind. But somehow, because it's in theta or it's going to mess up your case or whatever, there's always an excuse to be closed-minded and not look at objective information about Scientology.
I don't think that's correct at all. I don't think that's correct at all, especially not for me. I've heard what you guys got to say. You know, I've been around for a while, and I've heard all bullshit and all stuff. And I'm a Scientologist. I'm better qualified than any person here to make a judgment as to what Scientology is.
What's your case then?
My case level is irrelevant. I've studied more Scientology than all of you put together. And I'm also aware of the negative stuff as well.
There are people, OT7s, OT8s, who've studied more Scientology than you, who've been more involved than you, and they've had the SP cognition. They've come out, they've realised after their, like I say, being much more involved in Scientology than you have, they realise that Scientology is an unethical, oppressive organisation.
Well,
they are much happier now having come out than they ever were.
That's a very broad sweeping statement. Any group of people, there are people that go, people that, you know, who aren't happy, you know, after a while, and people that come up. Same with Anonymous. You have people who've probably been with it from the start, and some of them aren't. Some say, oh, I don't agree with what they're doing anymore. That happens in any group of people. That's just the way things are.
But Scientology is promising people a bridge to total freedom. And people are maybe happy because they think they're going to get there eventually once they work through it. But it's a lie. The complaint is not that some people are not getting it, but it's not. Well, it's not possible.
Again, it's a small.
It's not a small minority because the majority of people who've ever taken Scientology courses are now out.
Then this place wouldn't exist. Scientology wouldn't have lasted for this long, or 50 years. Scientology wouldn't be worldwide phenomenon.
No, all it means is that just enough people stay in and give up all their money. The huge majority of people who've ever been on course are now out, are now SP or whatever. It's only a small minority of people who stayed in.
So where are you getting your numbers from? Well, surely you have statistics to back up your argument. Surely you're here saying these things. You must have.
Well, apparently it's millions of people who've taken courses over the years. It's only tens of thousands who are in now. Going by census, same as going by internal statistics, going by the recruitment targets of the IAS. So we do have statistics to say that only.
Well, why? How can you back up that as well, seeing as the church refuses to comment on the number?
I'm not making any claims.
Well, you're saying you countering his point with some information. You say, you don't have statistics. Do you have statistics? Otherwise, that's just throwing a point out there that's not actually.
I've not made any points at all. I'm not making any claims.
So do you think there are 8 million Scientologists or 10 million Scientologists in the world? Do you think it's a global phenomenon like that? So could you back
I have no idea what the number is.
How many do you think that you say it's flourishing globally?
If I give you a number, that would be pure speculation. We'd be based on anything on paper. We could get figures, but I don't have those figures with me, so I'm not gonna give you a number because factually it wouldn't be true whatever number I gave you.
But you're saying it's a global phenomenon. Would you admit it's in decline? Or at least in decline in this country?
For what? That's not what I'm saying. You guys are saying, you know, there is international growth of Scientology. You know, all these, you know, new.
Who says? What's the statistics that back this up? You just fine. From my own observation, I see more people. I see more. So you've been all around the world, to everywhere Scientology operates.
From my own opinion, from my own observation here in Birmingham, I've seen it more now than ever. That's what I think.
But you're saying it's globally expanding, a global phenomenon. That's what I was asking. I wasn't asking about expansion here. I was asking about it being in decline in this country, in decline around the world.
You know, what I was
one person experience in one org. Yeah, maybe one org is doing well.
Well, fine, but you're making broad sweeping statements.
Which we can back up with census data, with IAS membership data.
Well, you wouldn't. I don't see how you could possibly have that anyway.
Come on the internet and discuss.
Hello.
Contact.
Anyway, Charles, you guys. Anyway,
it's there.
If
you're open-minded enough to look at the information is there to back up what we're saying.
I'm done talking.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I've spoken to you because you don't have a master. These guys have a master. I think it's very rude to want to speak to someone while you're wearing a mask.
So do you have something against the burqa?
No,
I was just wondering, would you say that's rude? Would you say to remove the burqa would be rude?
That's one definition of a mask. You guys are deliberately hiding your identity. That's a different thing. It's not a religious thing. Anyway, you guys need to move.
Scientology hides
Guys, okay, that's it.
Come on, move back.
Alright, I'm done
Move
talking.
back, guys.
I'm done talking.
Move back, guys.
You guys need to move back. You can carry on doing what you're doing. Whatever, I don't care. You guys need to move back.
That'd be
This is private property.
Come on, people need to move back.
So I missed the group chat here. Can you tell me what you think of this, the sign?
I'm not
No, you
saying
don't have to touch it.
He can't
For my own curiosity.
bullshit.
Okay.
I wouldn't want to answer that. No, I'm not checking that.
Thank you very
I
much.
don't see what's so interesting. You guys are like filming me constantly. I don't.
Well, you're
you know
the
what I
third
mean?
Scientologist who's come out and spoken to
That
us.
man just
This
taken
is
the
what we
voice.
want. We just want to speak to you. That's the level we're at the
No, but
moment.
you're not. That's not what you want. You guys are here to deliberately intimidate. That's
No,
you don't
that's
want
not what we're here for.
Anyway, that's fine. Anyway, I'm done anyway. So you guys can carry on.
What I was wondering was, if I can go to the library and pick up a copy of Dianetics.
Sorry, say again?
Sorry. If I can go to the library and pick up a copy of Dianetics and not get kicked out of Anonymous for reading that material, why would someone who read the material of us be kicked out? Why would you refuse the information from there? Why would that be a dangerous piece of information?
That wouldn't happen.
I mean, if you were at home.
Get kicked out. I've read your stuff, so I know what you've got to say. I'm just been kicked out.
I mean, this is what I like about Scientology. What I like about Scientology is the concept of everyone getting together and getting some depth under something. So, for example, like you've heard about Anonymous, so you go out and get information, you make sure you know what you're doing beforehand. But my problem with it is the number of sources that the information come from. I really would like to see some proof that the information that's coming into Scientology and Scientologists can access is completely free, and so that they can go, oh, I could get this information.
Why do you? Well, my first point is the information I've got on you guys is from your own website, from your own blogs, your own wiki sites. But regarding Scientology, you're clearly not a Scientologist. Why are you trying to damage my religion? Why are you attacking my religion? And you're saying, oh, we're not attacking. Well, you are.
Why isn't your religion free?
Why are you stopping? Why are you disrupting the services that take place within here? This is a church. These people are trying to do what normal people do when they go to church.
Why isn't your religion free like every other religion?
Well, you see, that's a valid question. That's a valid question. That's something which you can really find out. But well, it's a church, just like anyone would go to church, that they can gain knowledge, gain guidance, gain spiritual advancement. That's what occurs here. Same thing. Nothing strange or there's no praying, no clapping or anything like that. But there's no praying and singing. But the goals are the same. Now, I have a question for you. You guys need to, look for. If you guys want to know what Scientology is, again, all that information is freely there on the internet. We have our own website, so you can have that.
The problem with the website is I'm on the website, and all the information that I want, it keeps posing me questions. So it says, here's a little tidbit of information, now click here to buy the book. In fact, you can get a free set of starter books if you just give us all your personal information.
Well, fine, go to the library and read the book then.
Well, that's what I did.
Well, great.
But that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that it's not completely free. If someone actually wanted to keep that information.
Well, hang on a second. How much do you think it costs to rent a floor of an entire floor of a building in the Birmingham City Centre and major cities around the world? And then you have business rent. Then you have electric bill, gas bill. You have to pay the staff. You have to buy all those books.
Churches pay that?
Free. Those books have to be printed.
So, churches do that, they give books free.
Sorry?
Churches do that, mosques do that, synagogues do that.
Free. Well, what do you think they get their building given to them? Do you think
If you walk into a synagogue and ask for free stuff, they will
I
give it
actually
you.
was walking along the street the other day and I was given a King James Bible just off the street.
Even the Mormons will give you something for free.
Well, you can get free stuff here as well. That's not the point. The point is that every single.
Churches work on donations given because the people who preach there want to be there.
And why?
They don't have to be forced to give money to find out what's going on.
Yeah, that quid in the bowl. Well, one thing is that
Can we get somebody else here to audit us?
We could say debating this forever, but any church or any non-profit organisation has to get funding from somewhere. Usually it'll be funding from...
And those are usually free donations, not men forced to do it.
From Wikipedia gets donations from people who wish to donate to it. You know what I mean? Any church,
I don't have to pay to use Wikipedia.
Any church is funded by its members. They donate.